So the point I'm trying to make here is having a system in place really helps you efficiently take out one vegetable and about 15 minutes later be ready to plant something else. What's up, Lazy Dog fam? Hope all y'all are having a fantastic day. It is Saturday, February 3rd here in South Georgia. A beautiful 75-degree day. Been a busy day out here in the gardens. On today's video, we need to check on our English peas here behind me that we planted before that last cold spell. See how they came up. See if we need to go ahead and start running some string for our trellis. Then we need to figure out what we're going to plant where we just pulled up this cauliflower. So like I said, it's been a great day to be outside working in the gardens, playing a little catch up, getting ready for spring. Earlier today, I stepped up about 50 fig trees. Those should be available on the website very, very soon, probably within the next couple weeks. We should have most all of our varieties available. And earlier this morning, I took the tarp off this plot and got me a load of this good stuff right here. We'll talk more about this on an upcoming video. And just a little while ago, I came out here and weeded my onions, gave them one more little small side dressing of blood meal. Ain't they pretty? Man, I like seeing how fast those have been growing lately. So we've got a lot done today, but still a few more things to do. Let's check on these English peas that we planted back before that last cold spell. So we planted this double row of English peas back before we realized how cold it was about to get. And as you can see there, the cold definitely affected our germination. Now some spots along here look pretty decent, not as thick as I'd like them to be, but I can live with that. Other spots, like I showed you earlier up here at the front of the row, are pretty sparse. Now I could just scrap and replant that one double row of English peas. Wouldn't take long at all to do, and I still have some seeds left over. But if I replant that row now, I'm kind of setting myself back a couple weeks. If we get an unusually warm early spring, which can happen down here, English peas don't like that, and it means we usually don't get a very big harvest. Now what we have coming up here is probably not enough to put a decent amount of English peas in the freezer, which was our goal here when we planted these. So I think what we should do is take this row where we just pulled up some cauliflower and just plant another double row. Leave those there, have a nice little succession planting. That way if it does get really warm really quick in spring and zap this second planting, that'll be okay. At least we got some peas from the first planting, and we'll just kind of cover our bases that way. But before we get this row cleaned up and plant some more English peas, we probably should go ahead and run our first line of string on our trellis here. Even though these pea plants are small, you can see they're already putting on some tendrils there. They're looking for something to grab. So I'm going to run this first line of string pretty low on my T-posts here, probably only a few inches above the ground. I just want these plants to be able to grab something before they fall over. So just tie it off right there, and then we'll just work our way down the row. As we come to each post, we'll wrap around the post, keep the line nice and tight, and we want it about right there. That pea plant probably grab it in the next couple days. All right, so we got our string ran on both sides of that double row there, and as these things grow, we'll just add more string. I really like this method of trellising English peas because it's cheap, it's quick, it's easy, and we don't always know how tall these things are going to get before the heat zaps them. So by just adding a line of string at the time, we never have more trellis than we need. Now that those are taken care of, let's get ready to plant another double row right here. It may look like we've got a little bit of a mess on our hands, but we can get this cleaned up in no time. So one of the things we get asked about a lot is how are you able to so quickly pull out one crop, plant another, and just flip and rotate all the time, keep stuff growing all the time. And it has a lot to do with that weed seed bank that we always talk about. Because our weed seed bank is low in this plot, we don't have many weeds out there. It's not going to take us long at all to pull up this tape, clean this up, and have it ready to plant again. So by keeping things under control as they're growing, when whatever's growing is done, there's not much work to do to take it out and plant something else. So let's walk through this process real quick. I pulled up those cauliflower plants earlier today. You can see those stacked up right here. I did knock as much dirt off of those as possible. Try to leave the dirt in my plots if I can. Now, I don't always pull up plants like that. A lot of times we just cut them right at soil level and leave their roots in the soil. But since we're needing to direct seed peas here, like we did right over there, and we need to cultivate this a little bit, clean it up, got to get those roots out of there, otherwise they're just in the way. If we were putting transplants down here, pepper, tomato, watermelon plants, we could have left those roots in the soil and just planted around them. So now that those plants are out of the way, step 2 to getting this ready to plant, we need to pull up our drip tape. We don't have to disconnect it, we just need to get it out of the way for a minute. So our drip tape is pulled back now, still connected there because we're going to put it right back down in just a minute. Now we need to grab our rake, get some of this debris out of the way, pile it up. We'll give it to the chickens over there later. All right, so we got that plant debris out of there. It looks pretty clean, but there are a few weeds, especially towards the end of the row there. I don't want those competing with my seeds that are germinating, so I'm gonna run over it one time with the wheel hoe there, flip those weeds, and then rake them out. All right, in just a few minutes, we went from a mess to a nice, clean, level spot, ready to plant. No tiller required, no gasoline required, just me and my old buddy Manuel. Now we just need to redo our FAD system so we can plant our peas. That starts by making a furrow. Just want to get lined up where that drip tape fitting is there and dig us a little trench down this 30-foot row. Then, as we always like to do, gonna sprinkle a little coop grow down in our planting furrow here. That's the A part of our FAD system, which stands for amend. And then for the D part, we lay our drip tape back down in the furrow. And then lastly, we just take the wheel hoe and cover up that tape. And boom, there we go. We're ready to plant another double row of English peas. Doesn't get much faster and easier than that. Now some of y'all may be thinking, whoa, 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 slow your roll, Trav. You talking about how fast and easy that is, but you just used 3 different wheel hoes there. Most people aren't gonna have that, and that's true. Having the right tools for the job definitely makes a huge difference. But let's just assume I didn't have the wheel hose and I was doing that with hand hose. Probably would have took me about 5 to 10 minutes longer, but it wouldn't have took me that much longer. All I really needed, if I didn't have the wheel hose, would just be maybe a stirrup hoe, a hoe to make a furrow with, and old Manuel here. So the point I'm trying to make here is having a system in place really helps you efficiently take out one vegetable and about 15 minutes later be ready to plant something else. We've got a tried and true proven system we've been using around here for many years. It works and it's efficient, and it's one of the main reasons we're able to continue growing stuff all the time. We just keep replacing one crop with another. And the other thing that really helps is having shorter rows. So when we first moved here, our first ever garden on this place, 2 of our existing plots on the back half of the property were actually combined at that time. So I had rows that were about 100 foot long. And I can tell you from experience, especially when using hand tools, working rows that long can just be grueling. And so I hear people all the time talk about, I'm about to till me up a new garden spot. It's going to be 150 by 100. And I always tell them, think about this for a second. Think about splitting it up into smaller subplots. It will be a lot more manageable, a lot easier to rotate, a lot more enjoyable to work in. So the whole subplot design that we have out here allows us to really compartmentalize things so we don't ever get overwhelmed. We can take a row, flip it over, plant something else really fast. And most people don't need a 100-foot row of peas. A 30-foot row of peas is usually a gracious plenty. We're gonna have 2 30-foot rows because we're trying to fill the freezer, but that's probably still gonna be more than enough. All right, so now let's plant our peas. When I bought these PLS 595 peas a while back, went ahead and got a pound of them. That way I'd have plenty on hand if I did need to replant. So we're gonna plant a double row just like we did that other spot I showed you. We like to plant these pretty thick. I think if you're growing English peas, you might as well plant a double row of them. It's not like we're worried about overcrowding them because we're growing them vertically, so you might as well plant a double row. Get double the peas for the space in your garden. Now that those peas are in the furrow, we're just going to take Manuel's brother, this is Manuel, and we're just going to lightly cover those peas, and it will turn Manuel over and tamp them down. Now I will need to drive some posts for a trellis just like we did on that row, but I'm not going to do it today. It's supposed to get some rain tomorrow, pretty good rain, which should help get these peas to germinate, also make that dirt a little softer, a little easier to drive our posts. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. As always, you can find that Coop Grow fertilizer and a lot of the other products we use around here on our website at lazydogfarm.com. And if you want to learn more about our in-ground drip irrigation system, the one where you can just pull the tape back, cultivate, put it right back down, watch this video right here. We'll show you piece by piece how we put it together. So check that out, and we'll see you next time right here at Lazy Dog Farm.